So we are back with part two of our conclusions about studying the hidden book, the first two visions that Ellen White had about the Apocrypha and last day events. So in the 8th paragraph of the first vision, which is found in MS 5, 1849, paragraph 8, we have these 6 points. First point, those that shall despitefully tread or treat that remnant would think that they are doing God service. Why? Because they are led captive by Satan at his will. Point 2, hidden book, it is cast out. See below comments between number 5 through number 7. Point 3, bind it to the heart 4 times. Bind it, bind it, bind it. Laying the Bible on Oswald Stoll. Let not its pages be closed, and read it carefully. Point number 4, snares will be set on every side. Take the straight truth. Bind it to the heart 3 times. Let everything be cast out. Point 5, attention is called to that remnant who shall despitefully tread or treat them, think that they are doing God's service, but are in reality led captive by Satan at his will. This would appear to be applying to those living in the very last days, as prophecy is fulfilled and persecution begins with that remnant. Further attention, point 6, is again called to the hidden book that is cast out. Point 8, therefore the reader is called to carefully study this out. A, is this a part of the Apocrypha that has been hidden, burned, yet is really unadulterated and applies to the very last days of history? Point 5, or point B, is this one or more of the books found in the Apocrypha, such as 2nd Esdras, for example? Point A under B, or is this simply a few verses or chapters in the Apocrypha? Example, verses included in A Word to the Little Flock, appearing to be quoted by James White and Joseph Bates. See the last few slides about this. Point B, or does this apply to the understanding of Bible prophecy itself, including Daniel and Revelation? Note, it is clear in this vision, Ellen White is highlighting multiple times the importance of studying the Word of God, the Bible, and prophecy. Point C, in our day, simply studying Bible prophecy is being falsely represented as anathema, cursed, and forbidden in the church. In many places it's now called divisive, and people are being disfellowshipped for studying the Bible and prophecy. Point D, or are there other figurative applications? These are things are called to study out. Point 9, or perhaps all of the points above are applicable in our time. Whatever the answer is, it appears to be vitally important for us to understand this in the very last days of Earth's history. Whatever it is appears to be a life or death issue to study this, to study prophecy, and to study the Bible and other inspired writings now. So point 10 is it's a life and death issue, and it's vitally important to study this. Point 11, in reading this part of the paragraph, we find something interesting that is easy to be overlooked. Bind it to the heart 4 times. Bind it, bind it, bind it. Notice at first, point A, that Ellen White says, bind it to the heart, and then someone who is writing down this vision as she is having it inserts parentheses 4 times in parentheses, and then quotes, bind it, bind it, bind it, bind it. So at B, at first read, it appears that the 4 times applies to the bind it that is already stated 4 times in this sentence. So that's twice for 4 times maybe. Point C, however, it can also be read that Ellen White said, bind it to the heart 4 times, or that she said 4 times, bind it, bind it, bind it, and another bind it. Point D, either way, there are many applications to this for the reader to study out. Point E, some studies link bind it to binding into bundles with the close of probation, and there are some of the parables of Jesus in the Gospels that even talk about this. Point 12, this sentence also should be carefully studied and applied to both paragraphs 7 and 8, where the hidden book and Apocrypha are mentioned. Snares will be set on every side. Take the straight truth, bind it to the heart 3 times, parentheses. Let everything be cast out. A, can't we all say that as we have sought to study prophecy, whether in the Bible or Ellen White writings, that snares have beset on every side? Point B, can't we all say that we have needed to learn to take the straight truth and bind it to the heart? Are we binding straight truth or falsehood? Point C, and this is mentioned or repeated 3 times by Ellen White in this vision. Is this 3 times applied in terms of prophetic patterns, or in terms of what some have studied and present as a 3-step testing process? In other words, the gospel and righteousness by faith, in parentheses. C, or D, the words, let everything be cast out, remind me of the vision William Miller had about the dirt brush man, Jesus, who swept everything out so as to save the jewels. This is found in early writings, pages 81 through 83. Point 13 of the 8th paragraph of the first vision. In closing these 2 paragraphs, I also want to point out to those who are studying this that it is wise also to return to the previous paragraphs 6 and 5. Remember, paragraph 6 highlights faith 5 times for the wise versions. And paragraph 5 highlights information about persecution during the very last days of Earth's history, when the persecution includes that God's people are not allowed to buy or sell, and when there is a death decree. Therefore, as we study this out, we can see that the 4 paragraphs of paragraphs 5 through 8 are all tied together in this vision. And we can see how these paragraphs highlight the importance of studying the Word of God and having a relationship with God, who took such care to put these straight truths into His Word, even though these truths are often overlooked and therefore hidden to the unwise. For further study, look at the book Christ's Object Lessons and the parables in the Bible. Point 14. All of this brings us back to restudying the first 4 paragraphs of this vision, which point out the sealing time and the time of the prophecies in Ezekiel 9 that are occurring. These prophecies, which Ellen White said would be literally fulfilled. See below quote. Study the 9th chapter of Ezekiel. These words will be literally fulfilled, yet the time is passing and the people are asleep. They refuse to humble their souls and to be converted. Not a great while longer will the Lord bear with the people who have such great and important truths revealed to them, but who refuse to bring these truths into their individual experience. The time is short. God is calling. Will you hear? Will you receive His message? Will you be converted before it is too late? Soon, very soon, every case will be decided for eternity. This is letter 106, written in 1909, also found in 18 MR 236, paragraph 1. So, We're going to return now to studying the second vision, but I'm going to shut this off and come back and do that in a third video.